Hi guys, welcome back for another workout. My name is Lydi. I am currently 34 weeks pregnant, so today's workout will be prenatal friendly. However, if you are pregnant, please listen to your body or your LMC over what I'm telling you to do, of course. We'll be working through a full body flow today using our box. So grab that box if you've got one. And we'll be taking it nice and slow today, nice and gentle, focusing on our form, but we'll still be challenging ourselves and hopefully feel a bit more energized after the session. So come along with me. We've got our box on our carriage in a short box position. So long edge of that box is right up against those shoulder blocks, even overhang on either side. I've put all of my springs on, and then I've taken off one medium spring. So all of my springs, and then take off one medium spring. So you should have 4 springs total on your carriage. You're going to come to sit on your carriage facing your foot bar, a little bit squishy at first. So your back is up against that box, and then you can bring your heels onto that foot bar in front of you, about hip distance apart. Knees are nice and wide to make room for your belly, and your forearms can rest on your box behind you. Nice deep inhale breath, and as you exhale, start to slow press through both of those heels, send those legs out long, and inhale, slow return that carriage back into your stopper. Exhale, press away, maybe those knees come in towards center as we press, and then inhale, slow return back down, those knees back out wide. Exhale, push, and inhale, return. Making sure we're pushing evenly through both of those heels. Starting to send our mind to our muscles, so thinking into those glutes on the way up. And switching on through our hamstrings, the backs of those legs on the way back down. So I'm using my short box for this double leg press to avoid lying flat on my back, since I am pregnant. If you've got a pregnancy wedge, lucky you, maybe that's a bit more comfortable for you to use instead of the short box for this exercise. Or if you're not pregnant or quite early on in your pregnancy and still feeling okay on your back, feel free to take this box away and just lie down with your head on the headrest. Lovely, give me 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. Let's hold at the top, work through a few top range presses. So inhale, come in to find halfway, pause. Exhale, push to the top. Inhale, come down, find halfway, relax those toes. Exhale, push to the top, give me 6. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, push. Can you find a pause each time you find that halfway point? So bring that carriage to a complete stop. For 4. For 3. Last 2. Just a warm up. And then on your last one, find halfway, hold it here. Let's go for a slow pulse, out an inch and down an inch. Heels are digging into that foot bar, here for 6, here for 5, here for 4. Keep breathing nice and deeply. 3, 2, on 1, can you pulse up an inch and hold, freeze that carriage still for 6. 5, nothing moves for 4, 3, 2, and press to the top on your 1. I'm already out of breath. Bring that carriage all the way down to your stopper. Carefully come out of that position and give those legs just a little wiggle out, maybe a twist through that torso. Same springs. Grab your strap from wherever it is. Just make sure it's where you can reach it. Looks like I'm going to have to grab it once I'm already up. You're going to come sit on your short box facing your foot bar, and then your toes are going to tuck underneath that front strap. So bring those feet as wide as you need to, so that strap is snug across the tops of your feet and your bum is about in the center of that box. Reach your fingertips out in front of you, palms face in. Grow tall through the crown of your head. A nice deep inhale breath. And exhale. One more, inhale. And exhale. This time as you inhale, can you start to tuck that tailbone under? Start to roll that lower back, middle back, upper back down, keeping those shoulders away from your ears. And then exhale, as if someone's pulling you up from your fingertips. We restack that spine, so shoulders, upper back, middle back, untuck that pelvis last. So inhale, tuck that tailbone, roll back, as if you're pulling your belly button through behind you to the back of that machine. And exhale to restack that spine. Now I'm really limiting my range here since I am pregnant. Just keeping it nice and easy, nice and gentle. If you're not pregnant, or maybe you're early on in your pregnancy, or just feeling a bit stronger than I am today, you can go down a little bit further. But just making sure that we're thinking about that core engagement here. So keep coming back to that feeling of zipping up from our pelvis to our rib cage. And maybe the next time we come to the top, take a little back extension, stretch out that spine. So inhale, tuck that tailbone, roll back. And exhale, restack that spine, back extension at the top. Couple more here. Inhale, roll back. And exhale, roll to the top, back extension. Nice. One more just like that. And then the next time you're down in that C curve, let's hold. So tuck that tailbone, roll back, hold at the bottom. We're going to start to prep those obliques. So can you take that left arm out to the side of the room, reach for that left side of the room, maybe that gaze follows. Bring that left arm back through center, go for the other side. Right arm reaches back through center, and then we restack to the top, take that extension. Inhale, roll back. Left arm opens. Right arm opens. And then roll to the top. Now your feet should be nice and light under that strap. So make sure we're not relying too much on that strap to hold us. It might mean that you've got to limit that range, maybe not coming quite so far down. Give me two more. Hey, Ralph. And then on your last one, let's hold at the bottom. Inhale, tuck that tailbone, roll back. Left arm opens. And then right arm opens. Left arm opens. And then right arm opens. Give me two more on each side. Hug your baby in towards your spine. Nice work. You've got one more on each side. Keep breathing normally. Come back through center, hold. And if there's anything left in the tank, go for a little pulse up and up, reaching those fingertips for your foot bar and reaching. Belly button pulls into spine. Nice deep breaths for 5. Feet are light under that strap for 4. Good for 3. Shoulders down. Last 2. And then on 1. Roll all the way to the top. One last back extension. And then maybe go for a little side over to one side, looking down towards that box. And then over to the other side. Nice job. Now, just going to open this door to let Ralph out. We're going to change our springs first of all. So we're going to go one light spring. One light spring. So for you that might be a yellow spring or a quarter spring. Whatever you like for your plank work basically. Now you don't need to put your foot bar down depending on the model of your reformer. But mine just gets in the way of that solid platform. So I'm going to put my foot bar all the way down, and what you're going to do is you're going to take your box and place it in between your solid platform and your carriage. So you might need to use one foot or one knee on that carriage to slide it out. You're going to place that box on the railings, make sure it's nice and snug up against that solid platform, and then you can let that moving carriage close on that box. Oh, hello. You're going to come to kneel on your carriage, nice and close to your box. So let's have the box on our right side first. Knees are about in the center of that carriage, nice and close to that box. Your right elbow and forearm are going to come down to that box, again about in the center, and your left hand can rest on that box as well for balance. On your inhale, we're going to slide that carriage away to find our side plank. So shoulder is over elbow, knees are about in line with your elbow and that shoulder as well. And we're going to come in for a few little side pikes. So I want you to think about cinching through that right side of your waist, or that bottom side of your waist. As you exhale, can you think about squeezing through that right oblique, pulling that left hip up towards the ceiling to drag that carriage in, and inhale, slide that carriage back out. Exhale, cinch through that right side of your waist, pull that carriage in, and inhale, slide that carriage away. Keep moving like this. You can keep your left hand on that box for a bit of support if you like, particularly if that right shoulder starts to get a little sore. Or if you're feeling good, we can see if we can reach that top hand up to the ceiling. Exhale, pike, and inhale, return. Exhale, pike, and inhale, return. Lovely. Take rests when you need here, especially if that shoulder is starting to feel it. And if you're feeling good, shall we start to see if we can add on a thread the needle? So the next time you exhale to pike, can you bring that top hand underneath your body? Maybe take a little rotation towards that box. And then inhale, reach that hand up for the ceiling, find your side plank. Exhale, pike, thread the needle. Inhale, open back out. You've got 8. Exhale, pike, cinching through that bottom waist. And inhale, open. You've got 7. Maybe your top hand is still down on that box. That's absolutely fine. You've got 6. Moving with that breath. Exhale to pike. And inhale to open. So important to work that core while we are pregnant to help support that growing bump. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. You're going to give me one more pike. And then a final hold out in that plank. So send that carriage away. Top hand either on that box, or maybe we reach it. And can we pulse our hips up and up? So again, cinching through that bottom side of your waist. Here for 8. Here for 7. Here for 6. Nice. Keep breathing for 5. Reach those fingers for 4. Last 3. Last 2. And on one, you can bring that carriage all the way in. Beautiful. Shuffle those knees forward to bring your bum to your heels and go for a counter stretch. So that right arm up and over towards that headrest, the back of your machine, looking down towards that left hand in your shoulder blocks. And maybe one to the other side if that feels good as well. Nice. So we've done that right oblique. Let's come into a little bit of lower body before we go into the other side. So you're on the same spring, one light spring. Box is in the same position. You are going to come to a careful kneel position on your box facing the back of your machine. So just mindful as you get up, knees come into the center of that box. So we're nice and stable. We're not going to tip that box from side to side. And then once you're kneeling, you're going to bring your right foot first into the center of that carriage. So left knee is on the box and right foot is on the carriage. Can you check for me that your right heel is directly underneath that right knee? So if your knee is a little bit too far forward, just shuffle that foot around on the carriage until you find that 90-degree bend through that knee. Hands are going to come to your hips. Let's zip up that core. And on your inhale, we're going to start to tip our chest forward, slide that carriage out. At the bottom of your lunge, can you check that your heel is still underneath that right knee? And as you exhale, you're going to push heavy into that right heel, drag that carriage in, think about using that right hamstring. So inhale, tip that chest forward, slide that carriage away, find your lunge. One long line from your head to that bottom knee. And then exhale, push through that right heel to come back to the top. Inhale, lunge, heel under knee, and exhale, push to rise. Inhale, lunge, and exhale, push to rise. Now you might be fine here, hands staying on your hips. If you'd like a little bit more of a balance challenge, let's see how it feels to bring your arms next to your sides. And then as you tip down into that next lunge, can we sweep both of those arms up to the top corner of the room? From here, can you sweep your right arm back towards your foot bar? If your balance is feeling really good, gaze can follow. Sweep those right fingers back up to meet the left. And then push through that right heel all the way to the top. Whew, a little wobbly. So inhale, find that lunge. Sweep those arms up. You're going to have to brace through the core here to stay nice and steady as you go for that sweep of your right arm. And then push through that right heel to rise. Just give me 5. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, sweep it back. And exhale, push to the top. Whew, give me 4. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, sweep it forward. And exhale to rise. Ooh, 3 more. Staying nice and active through that core. Wobbles, as you can see, are very normal. But try keep that core nice and engaged, just so we stay nice and stable. 2 more. Find your lunge. 1 sweep. Try keep the weight in the outer edge of that right foot. Push to the top. And then on your last one, let's go for a hold. Send that carriage out. Either reach those arms or they can stay at your hips. If you've got them out, go for that sweep. Give me 4. Heel is digging into that carriage. Last 3. Nice deep breaths. Hug that baby in for 2. Give me 1 more sweep down and up. Reach for the top of the room. and then push through that heel to rise. Whew, nice work. Bring your knees back to that box. Whew, a little twist out here, a little stretch, maybe a punch out for that right glute. Amazing. We're going to come into the other side of our planks and then that left leg. So you're going to come carefully off your carriage, setting up for your left oblique plank first. So coming to kneel on your carriage, this time facing in the opposite direction. So your box should be on your left. Left forearm down on that box, about in the middle. And we can start with our right hand on that box as well. On your inhale, slide that carriage away. Find your side plank. So your knee should be about in line with that elbow on the box. As you exhale, let's go for those pikes. So this time cinching through that left oblique, pull that carriage in, those hips to the ceiling. And inhale, slide that carriage away. Exhale, pull that carriage in. And inhale, slide that carriage out. Cinch the waist, lift the hips. And inhale, slide away. Top hand either stays on that box, or if you're feeling good, that left shoulder is feeling good, maybe that left hand reaches for the ceiling. Exhale, pike, and inhale to lower. We can start to add on that thread the needle if that felt okay on the last side. So exhale, pike, take that top hand underneath your waist, rotate to the box, and inhale to open back out. Exhale, pike, and inhale to open. Give me 8. Pike, and inhale to open. Think squeezing through that left oblique. Give me 6. Moving with that breath. 5. Lift those hips high for 4. 3. 2. You're going to give me one more pike and then meet me in that side plank. Top hand either on that box or it reaches for the ceiling. Can you go for those pulses with your hips up and up? Cinch the waist, cinch the waist. Here for 8. Good for 7. Pressing out of that left shoulder. Last 5. 4. 3. Breathing normally, last 2. Give me one more. And then bring that carriage all the way into your box. Nice. You can go for your counter stretch. So again, up and over to those shoulder blocks. Maybe looking down towards that opposite hand. Whew. And then we've got the other side of the legs to go. So, come to take a kneel position on your box once again. Remember getting up into the middle of that box. We're nice and safe. This time, right knee is going to stay on the box. Your left foot is going to step carefully onto that moving carriage, about halfway down. Find that 90-degree bend with your left knee, knee above that heel. We can start with our hands on our hips. And then as we inhale, start to tip our chest forward, send that carriage away, pause at the bottom, just make sure that knee is still over that heel, and then exhale to push through that heel all the way in. Inhale, tip that chest forward, and exhale, push through that heel to rise. Inhale, tip that chest forward. Remember that nice long straight line from head to that back knee. And exhale, press through that heel, drag that carriage in. Think about using that left hamstring to pull that carriage back in. Now you're welcome to stay like this. Otherwise, we can start to add on those arms if that balance is okay. So zip up that core first, hug the baby, nice and engaged. Arms are nice and long. As we come down into that lunge, sweep those arms overhead. Left arm this time sweeps back. Sweep it forward. And then push through that heel to rise. Inhale, tip forward. Sweep that left arm back. Sweep it forward. And exhale, push through that heel to rise. Give me 5. So keeping your weight in the outer edge of that left foot if you can. So we're not collapsing into that left arch. Just helps us make sure that knee stays in line. 4 more. Moving nice and slow through that sweep. If you've still got your hands on your hips, can you still try and find a little pause at the bottom for me? 3 more. Is this side harder or easier than the last? Noticing those little differences in your body. Last 2. And then on your last one, we're going to hold. Almost there. So inhale, tip that chest forward, reaching those fingers up if you can. Can we go for that sweep down and back up for 4? Moving with that breath for 3. Dig that heel heavier into that carriage for 2. Nice job. Ooh, little wobble. You've got 1 more. Reach those left fingers up and then push through that heel to rise. Nice. Done. So good. Take a careful seat on your box. A little stretch out for those legs if that feels good. Nice work. All right. We've got one last lower body exercise to go on each side, and we'll do a little bit of upper body, and then we are done. So come off your machine. Either side is fine. We're going to take that box away now. So same way you got it on, we take it off. So a knee to that carriage to slide it out. Take that box off the railings. Slowly close that carriage, and then you can pop that box away. We did right leg first, didn't we? So we'll start with our right leg on this side. You're going to come to lie down on your carriage on your left hand side. So your left ear is down on that headrest. If you've got either a chi ball or a yoga block, you're welcome to put that down as a bit of a pillow. I'm just going to use my left arm just to prop that head up. My top right hand is just making sure my hips are all the way to the back of that machine. My top hip is stacked on top of my bottom one, and top shoulder stacked on top of my bottom shoulder. Knees are on that carriage, just coming along for the ride. You're going to grab your large loop, the one in front of your face, little tug down and place it over the arch of that top foot. And then we're going to find a 90-degree bend with that top leg. So hip, knee, heel, all at the same height, and you've got a 90-degree bend in that leg. Nice deep inhale here. And as you exhale, can you press that heel away all the way out towards your solid platform, that foot bar. And then inhale, bend that knee back in. So side lying leg press. Exhale, push. And inhale, bend. We try keep that heel a little bit in front of our body as we press. So you should still be able to see that heel as you push away. And you're aiming here to keep all of those joints, hip, knee, and heel, at the same height as you go for those presses. So just be mindful on your next one that we're not pushing all the way up here. We're not pushing down. We're pushing at the same height as that hip. Nice. Of course, each time you need to, as you bring that knee in, you can take a little tap out if you need. I want you to think about pushing that top hip down towards that solid platform, thinking about a little feeling of lift underneath that left side waist. Ooh, starting to burn now. Let's add on a sweep. Exhale, push away. Can we hold that leg long? You're going to inhale, sweep that long leg to me. That heel is still at the same height as that hip. Point the toes, sweep it back, and inhale back in. Go again. Exhale, push. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, point the toes, sweep it back, and inhale, bend that knee in. Remember, as often as you need to, take that little tap out. You've got 5 more. Exhale, push. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, sweep it back, and inhale in for 4. Press, sweep, sweep, and in. You've got 3. You can do it. Last 3. Exhale, push. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, back, squeeze the glute, and inhale in. 2 more. Press, sweep. Why does this one always hurt so bad? Sweep it back. Inhale in. Can you give me 1 more? Then let's take a reset. Push, sweep, make it a goodie. Point the toes, sweep it back, and inhale, bend that knee all the way in. Quick little tap out. We've got 1 last finisher for that right glute. 1 more. Lift that knee. We're going to push that leg out. Hold it long. Can you just give me 6 sweeps? Inhale forwards. Exhale back. Give me 5 more like that. Inhale forwards. Exhale back. Last 4. Is that heel at the same height as your hip? 3 more. You can do it. Last 2. Lovely. Sweep that leg forward on your last one. Hold. Toes to the floor, heel to the ceiling. You're going to pulse that heel up and up. 5, 4, then you're done. 3, 2, and 1. Bring that leg all the way in. That one just never gets easier. You're going to slowly take that loop off your foot, bring that carriage all the way into your stopper. It can go back over that post. Take a seat on up, sitting on the edge of your carriage, and let's go right ankle over left thigh. Nice deep breath in and out here. Now before we go into the other side, let's get our upper body out of the way. So 2 more exercises, upper body, other side of that leg, then you are done skis. So you can stay on the same spring, 1 light spring. If you know you're a little bit stronger through your chest and your shoulders, you can go up maybe to a medium spring. I'm feeling okay in my upper body today, so I am going to go a little bit heavier to my medium spring, but feel free again to stay on that light spring if you'd like something just a little bit friendlier for your chest. You're going to come to kneel on your carriage, facing the foot bar, the solid platform. Knees are nice and wide for a nice stable base of support, and your bum is on your heels. We're going to reach behind us for both of our short loops, short loop in each hand, and then you can start with just a few offerings. So elbows into your waist, palms face the ceiling. Nice deep inhale breath, and as you exhale, send those arms out long. Inhale breath, draw those elbows into your waist. So as if you're offering someone a platter. Exhale, extend. and inhale to lower. Should feel quite light, especially if you're on that light spring, but we'll come into some single arm work in just a minute. So just use these first few reps to warm up. And one more. Nice. So you're going to send both arms out nice and long. This time can we flip the palms and go for a couple of chest presses. Inhale, elbows draw in, just in line with that body. And exhale, push away. Same again. Inhale, elbows in line with your body, just below your shoulders. And exhale, push away. Lovely. Give me two more. Again, just a little warm up. And then the next time your elbows are in line with your body, let's go for a couple of single arm reps if we can. So starting with that right arm. As you exhale, you're going to push those right fingers or that right hand out towards that foot bar, that solid platform. At the same time, that left elbow draws back towards your poles. And then inhale, find that start position, elbows in line with your body, other side. Exhale, left arm presses, right elbow draws back, and inhale, elbows back in line with your body. Right side, exhale, press, left elbow back, take a rotation. Inhale, elbows in line with your body. Exhale, left arm presses, right elbow back, and inhale, back in line with your body. So keep moving through this. Single arm presses. If it gets a little bit much, you do have your large loops, so they might be a little bit friendlier for those arms if you'd like it. Otherwise, feel free to come back to that double arm work we were doing before. So double arm presses are your option here. Otherwise, a single arm press is nice. We get that rotation in as well. So you're going to give me 5 more on each side. Exhale, push. And inhale in. Exhale, push. And inhale, return. 4 more. Lovely job. Only upper body set of the day. Try to keep those shoulders away from those ears. Last 3 here. Push and slow return. Still zipping up that core. Push and slow return. Just 2 more on each side. Exhale, press. Inhale, return. Exhale, press, rotate. Inhale, return. 1 more on each side. Press. Slow return. 1 more. Exhale, press. And inhale, slow return. Just to finish off, give me 1 more double arm press. So both arms reach out long to that foot bar. Hold those arms nice and long. And then can you give me little shoulder circles? Both arms circling outwards first for 8. Keep those shoulders pulled back and down. That rib cage closed. That belly button to spine for 4. For 3. On 2, can you reverse those circles? For 8, then we're done. 7. 6. Nice work for 4. Pull those shoulders down. I meant 5. Now you've got 4. For 3. Last 2. And on 1, you can bring those elbows all the way in. Nice. Large loops away. And give that upper body a little stretch out here. So 1 arm across your body might feel nice. Other arm across your body. Maybe interlace those fingers behind you. Nice little stretch out for that chest. And then if you lean forward, feeling that stretch deepen through your upper body, back and those shoulders. You've got 1 last exercise to go, my friends. It's just that side lying leg press on the other side. So if you changed your springs, just make sure you're on your single light spring, so single yellow or that quarter spring. You're going to come to take a lie down on your carriage, this time facing the other side. So we're lying down on our right side. Grab that ball or your yoga block if you used it as your pillow. Otherwise, I'm just using my bottom hand. Hips to the back of that machine. Grab that large loop and thread it over the arch of that top foot. Top shoulder, top hip, stacked directly on top of the other ones. Just give that a little check. Knees are tucked up on that carriage. And then you can lift that top leg, hip, knee, heel, all at the same height, 90-degree bend in that leg. Nice deep inhale breath, and as you exhale, can you push that heel away? And then inhale, bend that knee all the way in. Go again, exhale, press. And inhale to bend. Making sure that top hip is pressed down towards that foot bar, that solid platform. Little feeling of lift underneath that right side of your waist. Moving nice and slow, leading with that heel, and making sure that knee and that heel are staying at the same height as that hip. So keep checking in with that body. We can start to add on that sweep when you're ready. So the next time you press away, inhale, sweep that leg forward, point the toes, sweep that leg back, and inhale, bend that knee all the way in. Exhale, press. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, sweep back. And inhale to bend. Watch as you sweep that leg forward, that your tailbone isn't scooping under, so we're keeping a neutral spine. A little mini curve through that lower back, just to keep the work in that glute. So we're not coming all the way forward so that that tailbone starts to tuck under. Last 5 here. Press, sweep, sweep back, and return. Remember, take that little tap out as often as you need to for 4. Last exercise. Push through if you can. 3. Squeeze that glute each time you sweep. Last 2. And then 1 more. We'll take a little tap out after this one before that last finisher. Bring that knee in, little tap. And then when you're ready, you've just got those sweeps to go. Lift that leg 1 more time, press it long. 6 sweeps. Inhale, sweep that leg forward. Exhale, point those toes, sweep it back. You've got 5. Keep that heel at the same height as that hip. Don't let it lift. Don't let it drop. You've got 4. Nice and slow. Use that breath. Inhale forwards. Exhale, sweep. You've got 2 more. So good. On your last one, we're going to sweep that leg forward. Hold it there. Can you rotate your toes to the floor? That heel faces the ceiling. We pulse up and up for 5, for 4, for 3, last 2, and 1. Bring that leg all the way in. Amazing. You can take that large loop off your foot, place it back over that post. Take a gentle seat, mindful you're on that light spring, and take that stretch out for your left leg. So sitting on the edge of your carriage, left ankle over right thigh, take that little lean forward. Oh, my knees are a bit clicky today. So good. We could take a quick little hip flexor stretch. Maybe a little child's pose just to end our class. So if you had to put your foot bar down, we can pop it back up now, just so we've got that foot bar for stability. You can stay on that light spring, or if you'd like something a little bit more supportive, we can go to a medium spring. We'll stretch out that right side first. So you're on the right side of your machine facing your foot bar, right foot on the floor, left knee on that carriage. Hands can come down to that foot bar. Start to slide that carriage out and away. Find your hip flexor stretch. So that knee is still over that right heel. If this is feeling okay, we can come down, bring our forearms to that solid platform. You can either go for a static stretch here or a little dynamic rock back and forth. And just remember, pregnancy is not the time to push too hard in those stretches, so take it nice and gently here, nice and easy. Couple deep breaths. Amazing. You can bring that carriage all the way in. Sit your bum down to that left heel, straighten out that right leg, and slide that carriage out slightly for a hamstring stretch, if that feels good. So pulling those right toes up towards you. Bring that carriage all the way in. We're going to carefully bring both knees onto that carriage, nice and wide. Feet together, hands on your foot bar. Send your bum back towards your heels and melt that chest down towards your springs in your child's pose. If your belly is getting a little bigger, you might find it more comfortable to come into a puppy pose. So bringing those hips up above the line of your knees just to make a little bit more room for that baby. And melting that chest down. Come all the way in. We'll do the other side of those legs. So left foot to the floor, right knee to that carriage, and sink down to find that hip flexor stretch first of all. So knee over heel, hands are either on that foot bar or maybe forearms to that solid platform. A gentle rock or static stretch, whatever one feels better for you and your body today. Slow that breath down, last few moments. And then last stretch of our class, let's come in for that hamstring stretch. So bring that carriage in, sink your bum down to that right heel, straighten out that left leg, and then bring those left toes up towards your face. Stretching down the back of that leg. Amazing work today. It took pretty much all of my energy to get myself to do that workout. So if that was you as well, well done, especially for making it to the end. That's incredible. All right, team. That's our class. I hope you enjoyed, feeling nice and energized. So proud of you for making the time to move your body today. Well done. And I'll see you next time. Have a good rest of your day.